The Olympics is a time for the world to come together, where legends are made, where dreams come true, and everyone has to choose between Team Mario and Team Sonic. But I can't help but wonder, what if there was a third team? A pink team, for girls. What if we could root for Team Barbie? There's a rich history of Barbie video games, and anyone who grew up with a family PC and as a girl, or with a sister, or maybe just bored and it was there, probably has intimate experience playing at least one of these many fine titles. I mean, they're at least titles. Barbie can be anything, and that includes an athlete. Maybe even an Olympic athlete. And no, I am not stretching the definition of what Olympic tie-in video games are just because I thought of the title of this video before the content. In fact, I think any woman doing a sport ever should be considered an Olympic athlete, Barbie included. In just 5 minutes of research, I was able to narrow down 3 instances of Barbie's athletic prowess. This is excluding horse games. Equestrian people are probably athletes. I just didn't want to spend the rest of my life playing Barbie Race and Ride. Let's pit 3 bad against each other and find out who gets to partake in the next Olympics on the side of gender. We'll start at the beginning with Barbie Super Sports, a 1999 release for Windows and the PlayStation 1. Barbie Super Sports begins with a choice: snowboarding or rollerblading. After you pick your poison, you're given a meager 100 Barbie dollars to buy an outfit and a sporting accessory of your choice in virtually identical shops. Of course, it's only the illusion of choice because there's only one set of options in your budget at either shop. If you choose to go rollerblading, you're then spit out into a hub world where you can spin Barbie signs to pick up some extra Barbie points before picking one of 4 tracks to skate, each with a unique theme and little challenges to try. In order of least fun to most fun, we'll start with the skate park. And it's a skate park. I guess it might be fun if you can stomach how bad it controls. It just really shows how annoying the skating mechanic is. You point your cursor in the direction you want to go and click to go faster, which would be fine if it wasn't so difficult to make your movements precise. And the biggest draw of the skate park is all the little ramps where you have to be precise. So, I just didn't think it was that fun. It's also a little boring. Even compared to the hub world, it lacks the vibrancy and charm the rest of the game has. In third place, we have the racing course. Here, you race against the computer to the end of the course. And, of course, you have to go through the checkpoints and avoid obstacles. This is kind of fun, probably way more fun in 2-player mode and if you're 5 years old. It also doesn't seem like winning the race really matters, and it's only barely edging out the skate park for third. A huge step up from the other courses lies just on the other side of the clown hole. The amusement park is by far the most interesting course in Barbie Super Sports. It has several activities that only feel loosely related to rollerblading. First, you navigate your way through a maze, kind of. Then you're given the option to try and catch the balloon, which flies you to another part of the track. There, you're given a ramp that you have to jump over, but you have to try and time those jumps like it's a shooting game, so you can collect the precious Barbie bees. Once you make the jump, you can make your way over to the incredible gravity-defying loop. And, last but not least, is seeing the sights and sounds of Monkey Rock. It's bananas. Before we get to number 1, some context. When I googled this game, one of the first images I saw was from our final course, Dolphin Boardwalk. I'd say this is by far the most aesthetically pleasing and fun to play of the rollerblading half of the game. Basically, you skate through this vaporwave dream and turn on the dolphin fountain by making jumps. There's even an out-of-bounds zone where you can access it by jumping over a little ramp. You basically just have to skate through a borderless boardwalk without falling off, but it's still a fun little extra. And there's really not much to this zone of the game. It's just fun to look at, and it's the easiest course to kind of just get lost in thought and skate through. Now, if you choose to snowboard, you're given 5 slopes to hit. These aren't as vibrant or interesting to look at as the rollerblading world, but it's a lot more fun to control. Rather than having to click to keep moving, you're just pointing the mouse and going along for the ride. You have a bunny slope to learn the mechanics, a slope that's all jumps, a racing slope, a slope with ramps, and the other one that I couldn't remember if there was a gun against my head. This section isn't as memorable as its sister. I think part of that is its streamlined controls make it so much faster to play. I hit the record button and I think I finished all of the courses in under 10 minutes, which is perfectly fine, and if I was a kid, I may have found something worth it in replaying it until I got all the outfits or whatever, but it just didn't have the staying power of the rollerblading section. All in all, this is a bad game for babies. However, if you were a baby when you played it for the first time, you're probably going to have a lot of fun going back to it. It controls like hell, has repetitive instruction dialogue, and looks like a game from 1999. But that's also what's charming about it. I never had this game growing up, but I still managed to find some way to enjoy it. Barbie Super Sports, despite all its many and glaring flaws, gets a 3 out of 5.
She has a winning spirit, she's beautiful and bold, super gymnast Barbie!
We enter the Team Sports Zone with 2001's Barbie Team Gymnastics for Windows. Here, Barbie and her friends/teammates, Christy and Teresa, are coached by Kira, who dresses like a gymnast and seems to be the same age, yet isn't a competitor. She reads the instructions out loud to you whenever you go to a new section, and is kind of annoying, but we can't all be perfect. In the hub world, which is just a room where all 4 characters sit idly by, Kira tells you that you can do one of 3 things: practice, compete, and, most importantly, change outfits. Unfortunately, you have to compete to earn new outfits, and to compete you have to practice, so there's no choice but to get started. When you enter practice mode, the screen becomes a clipboard that allows you to select one of 4 events to work on: the vault, the uneven bars, the balance beam, and the floor routine. To perform your event, you're given a simple rhythm-style game where you have to press the arrow keys and spacebar in a specific order and amount of time for each move. The more difficult the move, the more keys you have to press, with the easiest moves being only 2 and the most difficult being 4. You start out with already laid out routines of the most basic moves, and to learn better moves, you have to enter the team in a competition where you do the routines that you just practiced, but this time, for real, and in front of an audience of 5 to 10 repeating images of real human people. There's a loose storyline where Kira mentions after each competition that you're almost to nationals. However, winning isn't the real prize. The real prize is unlocking new outfits.
Welcome to our dressing room. We have all our team costumes here. Go through them and choose one you'd like for us to wear.
Aww, they're ugly. This game seems like it would be more fun if I was a 9-year-old in gymnastics class when it came out. It uses a lot of big names for moves that I forgot immediately after hearing them. And although I find gymnastics beautiful to watch, I don't have even a baseline knowledge of how routines are built, so when we get to the competitions, I've just randomly placed things where the guardrails let me, and have to hope for the best. There's a little bit of skill when it comes to pressing the keys, but mostly you just have to spam your routine with high value moves, and you're good to go. Although there is a competition system, we never see the other teams, so the world feels kind of empty. Sure, Kira can tell us that we've won, but it really only feels like you're competing against yourself. Now, in a hypothetical situation where you're playing this game with 2 friends, one of you controlling Barbie, one of you controlling Christy, and the other controlling Teresa, and alternating turns in the competition, you could add a competitive edge, and I'm sure have fun for a while. But I have a hard time imagining having two friends, let alone two who care enough about Barbie Team Gymnastics to come to my home and gather around my desktop to play it. This also shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, but Barbie Team Gymnastics is ugly. Not so much the actual gymnastics part. The animation on the moves doesn't look too bad if you ignore their boneless hands, but the design of the world isn't great. The brown walls and green carpet look like they're from when you were still allowed to smoke indoors. The choice to use photos of real-life people as the audience is scary. The camera is consistently orbiting around your gymnast while you practice, and it's a one-way ticket to motion sickness. This game also has repetitive audio and virtually no soundtrack. There's only 3 songs for the whole game, and it leaves something to be desired. And there is a fourth thing that has nothing to do with the aesthetics, but every time you close this game, it makes you watch the entire credit sequence all the way through. Every single time. I might have been able to excuse it for looking and sounding bad if it was exceptionally fun, but it isn't. It's just kind of fun, so it gets 2 out of 5. You probably had to be there when it came out to really get it.
Olympic skater Barbie, go for the gold, go for the win.
Barbie's Sparkling Ice Show has what Barbie Team Gymnastics severely lacks: a personality. You, Barbie, Christy, and Teresa embark on a world figure skating tour with the goal of putting on a sparkling ice show in 5 different locations. International City, a generic city that I presume is meant to make you think of the Rockefeller Center ice skating rink in New York City. Misty Mountain, a mountain in the winter. Island Paradise, a tropical island. Rose Garden, a rose garden. And Skating in the Sky, presumably the light at the end of the tunnel after your failed attempt to land a triple axel. And yes, I did Google most dangerous figure skating moves for that joke. After selecting your first tour destination, you're given 2 choices to make. 1, the level of difficulty, aka skating style. Easy mode has you press the up and down arrow to control your speed, and that's it. Medium adds an extra key to press, the spacebar. You press the spacebar while skating over snowflakes to perform your tricks. Expert mode adds an astounding 2 more keys to press with the inclusion of the left and right arrow keys that you press to skate left or right to stay on your performance path. The next choice is your routine, each with a fun name related to the location. For example, International City has such great routines as Sweet Liberty and City Girl Twirl. Of course, these just affect how the routine looks, as there's not a point system at play here. So, once you've set your playstyle and routine, you get to practicing, which is where the game starts to fall apart. The actual part where you control Barbie and company is way too easy. I ramped it up to expert difficulty after my first round, and even having to use 5 keys didn't make it any more challenging. In fact, the only challenge in the gameplay is that it is incredibly picky about spacebar timing for tricks. Pretty much the only way I could get the game to register that Barbie needed to do her jump was if I pressed the spacebar when she was already off of the designated space for it. This was annoying at first, but once I figured it out, it got just as boring as the rest of the skating sections. Thankfully, after you pass a practice, it reels you back in with the customization. Although it's not a very complex system and there's not an insane amount of options, before you do your final performance, you're greeted with some more choices. First, and obviously the most important in a Barbie game, you get to pick your outfit. Each stage has 5 unique costumes that are themed to the location. Some of them are really cute, some are meh, but I appreciate that they didn't make us outfit repeaters.
Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit repeater!
You also get to pick the song that you'll skate to, which gives you 3 more options that are also location dependent. And, finally, you get to place decorations in the area surrounding the rink. Again, there's 4 unique items for each location, and you can click through and decide where to put them. My favorite item is the giant unicorn in the heaven stage because it's ridiculous and unrealistic, and that is where I will be drawing the realism line. This game is sort of fun to look at in the same way the pink toy aisle at Walmart is fun to look at. You experience the horror of aggressive gendering and the joy of pretty outfit in a single glance. I think figure skating is such a beautiful sport, and they did a pretty good job of capturing that in the animation, but goddamn is this an early 2000s girly tie-in game. There's no edge to this, it's all rainbows and unicorns. Barbie Sparkling Ice Show is by far the best game for visual appeal and customization. Most of that, I think, is the fact it has more options than most games like it. Team Gymnastics only had 3 unique songs for the whole game. Sparkling Ice Show had 15. Sure, you're not programming a radio station on that number, but at least you aren't hearing the same things every 60 seconds. There was just some extra love and care put into making this world feel a little bigger, and it turns out that can triumph a bad gameplay loop. Barbie Sparkling Ice Show gets a 3 out of 5 from me. Barbie is unrivaled. I can't name another person who's been president, an astronaut, and the main character of a bunch of mediocre sports games. But if anyone could do it, I knew it was her. I respect her so much that it was difficult for me to sit down and judge her, let alone name the winners and losers when all that really matters is that we're all on Team Pink. But at the end of the day, it's my job to be objective. And we can't discuss an Olympics without sending someone to the top of the podium. So, we'll start at the bottom. Barbie Team Gymnastics. You were fine. In fact, you even had the best gameplay mechanics of the lot. But you were plain, and in this business, looks sell. For those reasons, you're our bronze medalist. Coming in at second place, drumroll please. Keep drumming, we're building some anticipation. Just a little longer. Our second place loser is Barbie Super Sports. I respect the hell out of you for trying to include 2 sports in one. You had the moxie, and you nearly did it. You just didn't have the polish and customization to go for gold. That means at the top of the podium, we have Barbie Sparkling Ice Show. Your gameplay left something to be desired, but I'm superficial, and you had, by far, the most unique content of the lot. Congratulations. You can join Sonic and Mario for the next Olympics. So, that's it for the Barbie Olympics. I guess the real winner is the... Wait. This just in. There's another medal, and it's worth more than all the other medals combined? And who's the winner? It's me! For playing all these bad games? I'd just like to thank the Academy, everyone's mothers, and, of course, the devil for pushing me to keep playing licensed video games. I couldn't have done it without you, S.